Okay. Hi. Hello. This is Hey Hey Chicago Sports on we in June.
June 8th, I
We're in
believe.
June 8th, 2026. Sorry, everybody.
Sorry, before you start.
It still feels like we're in May, but anyway, yeah, I'll get to it. It was breaking news in all Chicago sports web pages, TV shows, and newspapers. But three-time NBA champion Stacey King. Stacey King, also the Bulls legendary broadcaster, he passed away. So deeply, deeply tragic, deeply unfortunate. We don't know a whole lot of information. No one really knows a whole lot of information about it. But it's he was 57.
56 or 57.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. Found him unresponsive, though most that I know was they said he fell in his house and then became unresponsive. Not disparaging on, he was the 6th overall pick.
Yeah, 6th overall pick, and he won 3 titles.
And he won 3 titles.
Okay. But it's
And he won 3 titles with, Michael Jordan. And, and Stacey King won 3 titles, and he's got 3 rings, and that's a wonderful thing. And he became more popular as the Bulls announcer.
Well, he had generations of people watching him. So,
yep. So
he was like he was the voice that you heard. He was the man that was always there.
Yeah, because and then speaking with basketballs, I was trying to now while we're on TV real quick here, they were talking about future NBA stars on the Dan Patrick Show this morning, and before I start mentioning names, I'm going to compare people who are not in the Hall of Fame, in the NBA Hall of Fame, to these existing guys right now who happen to play for the New York Knicks, and all of a sudden...
Well, if they win a title, they're going to make the Hall of Fame. So,
okay.
If New York wins, many of them are going to make the Hall of Fame because they have not won in over 50 years. So
Bob Love's not in the Hall of Fame. Butterbean Bob Love.
Wasn't he a Chicago Bull?
Yes, played with Chet Walker. Butterbean Bob Love. He's got records.
I thought he was in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think Bob Love's in the Hall of Fame. Chet Walker's in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if Bob Love's in the Hall of Fame.
I have to look that up.
Okay. Norm Van Leer, I don't believe is in the Hall of Fame.
I have to look that one up too.
And if you're going to tell me that Norm Van Leer is a less of a point guard than this oversaturated guard for the New York Knicks, that's why I have to do some research. But anyway.
Okay. Well, you don't like. Okay.
Stacey King passes away at a relatively young age. Okay. And that has been newsworthy, and it should be newsworthy, which in a backhanded way is exposing. Well, I'm saying it's a lot of coverage is that because the reason for our show today is because the Northsiders now have lost 10 series in a row, and they're losing to bad teams. And again, I've always said statistics are for losers, but somewhere along the line you got to take some statistics and you got to draw a conclusion that...
Well, you can also watch the game and just have a basic understanding.
But right now we said not the Bears, but the Cubs are, what's their record?
Well, if I can read your handwriting, they're 34 and 32.
34 and 32.
Well, I know this. They're 34 and 32. They're 7.5 games back from first place, and they're not going to catch Milwaukee. As you said last night, just accept that and move on. Excuse me. They are half of a game back. There's truly only one game difference from the final wild card playoff spot, which would be currently the Arizona Diamondbacks have that. And did you write down Arizona's record at all? I don't.
I think it was they're
like 34 and 31, I think, or something.
Yeah, they have one less. They have one less loss than the Cubs.
It's not that far off. I will say it's not that far off. So Chicago could bounce back and try to hang on to one of those final playoff teams. But overall, and you got some statistical
And before we get
data
into
here.
before we get into the numbers here, I just want to express the next 9 games might be critical in the overall season success of the Cubs. Because starting tomorrow, and the reason we didn't do the game, we were kind of telling people we were going to do a telecast last night, but the game lasted longer than we thought it would in extra innings. The Cubs lost. I was pissed, and I
was mad too.
I wouldn't have focused real well on doing a show.
Well, you and I had a big argument, and you didn't want to talk, and you didn't want to talk to me about
So
things
now-
that you agree with me.
Cooler heads are prevailing right now, but they play starting tomorrow. They got a 3-game series in Colorado with the Rockies, who are the worst team in Major League Baseball.
Well, them and the Angels.
Okay? Then they leave Colorado and they go to San Francisco, which currently is the second worst team in the National League. But San Francisco just beat the Cubs.
Oh, it beat the shit out of them.
2 out of 3 at Wrigley Field. And then after that 3-game series with San Francisco, they play the Rockies again back at the friendly confines. So they play 9 games in a row, 9 games against Colorado and San Francisco.
Right.
If they can't fatten up with the statistics we're going to give you, and they can't win 7 out of 9 or 8 out of 9, because right now, in the last 27 games, what did I write that magical stat?
Where did you write it? You wrote it on an AT&T envelope. You wrote it on an AT&T
There it is.
envelope.
In the last 27 games, the Cubs are
7-20.
7-20.
7 wins, 20 losses.
So I'm not a genius with math,
Well-
but if the Cubs are 2 games still over 500,
Okay.
and that's a difference of 13. At one time of the season, the Cubs were 15 games over 500. At one time.
Well, and now they have a .515 winning percentage by the skin of their teeth, and
Okay, because we're going to throw you some stats here. Okay. Last night,
and you're just
they scored 1 run. Okay. And how many men did they leave on base last
11
night?
men on base.
11 men on base. That's in scoring position, 1 player per inning. Okay. And they can't knock them in. Prior to last night, the Cubs' on base percentage is.
Can you just let me? Their on base percentage is .333.
And what's that ranked?
I think it's 5th.
5th in all of baseball, or was it the National League?
5th all of MLB.
They're on base. They're getting on base.
Well, they're number 2 of leaving men on base.
And they're 2 of leaving men on base. So they're getting bodies on base.
And overall, as a team, they're striking out 13 times. They're like the 13th most strikeouts of any team. And they're trying. You want to be a playoff team. You leave men on base more than anybody.
Okay.
You're almost in the top 10 of strikeouts as a team.
Let me see that sheet.
That's not good.
There were some other things here. They were. Are they first in walks?
Yeah, they are.
They're first in walks.
They are. That I do know.
Okay, as a team. So even if you're not hitting, you're still getting on base.
And I think they're like 5 in the getting hit by pitch.
And
I think they're 5 in getting hit by pitch.
you scratch your head and go, why are they only 2 games over 500? Now, then the obvious thing is the pitching.
Well, let me go. Can I take that, please? Yeah, 5 of the starters are negative WAR. Jamison Tyone has a hamstring, so that's gone. So he'll be gone for 3 or 4 starts. Javier Saad gave them 7 full innings. Well, He went the full duration of the game. Well, not the full duration, but he pitched a pretty darn good game. And Kevin Alcantara running the bases in the 8th inning in a 1-1 tie ball game where you got to score for a game that you got to win, and you get doubled up, and it should have been a triple play.
I play in the old man league. When you got guys on base, the first thing that we scream it out from the dugout. Liners go through. That means you hold on a liner or you work your way back to the base that you came from when there's a line drive. If you look at last night, his momentum is going forward on a line drive, and he got at third base with the potential tying run.
He's out by a mile.
Doubled up.
Out by a mile.
By a mile.
And who was it? Was it Devers steps on first?
If Devers would have stepped on first,
it would have been a triple play.
Before he threw, it could have been a triple play. And if you look at that highlight, Devers to the bag, but Devers was just concerned with getting the guy across the diamond because he knew that the fool was way off the bag. And he says, we could double him up at third.
Man, they did.
Okay.
Then you went into extra innings and you lost.
All right, but then, okay, and I know you're going, and what you're saying about the war thing is correct, but they're only a half a run. We did this stat. They're only a half a run.
No, I don't.
More than what they were last year.
Well, you want to know why they were so good last year? Because they hit a crap ton of home runs. And they're not doing that right now. Now, yeah, Armstrong could hit 30 when it's all said and done. But overall, they have no reinforcements other than that. And
so it's not. So I look at it, it's not the pitching that is a huge glaring problem. They're giving up a half a run more, but if they were hitting, as you said,
which they're not,
that is causing them to be right above the Mendoza line.
Which they're not. Alex Bregman, 0 for 5. Bregman went 0 for 5.
And he is getting killed today. If you go on MSM and if you watch the score, the score this morning, Bregman today finally is getting killed.
You know what? Well, and you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm going to open up the door to this. You hated the idea of getting Alex Bregman. I fought back on you on it, but now we've gone over 60 games in the season. He did cheat. His best seasons were when he was cheating, and he knew what pitches were going. So that's no good there. He went to Boston, and he bailed. 1 year. They gave him a 5-year deal, and he bailed. Now he's here. He's over the hill in his twilight of his career. He's one of the all-time highest-paid Chicago Cubs. He made a comment earlier on in the year saying, and I'm kind of taking this out of context, but I'm also not. He made the words, "I don't care about results." He was referring to Pete Crow Armstrong, but in reality, you never should say that when you're in a outright wins and losses situation, which you are, and you go 0 for 5. That's not a good look there. Now, let me go a step forward. There may not even be a baseball season next year at all. And you said, and I tend to agree with you, because if everything we are reading about the Chicago Cub baseball team is true, with all the injuries, all the severe injuries, all the piss-poor draft prospects, with all the bad trades, the inconsiderate, garbage, terrible contracts, the best thing that could happen at this juncture, because I don't think they're a playoff team. Yeah, sure, they may be a bottom-feed wild card team, but let's face fact, they're going to get smoked in round 1. However, I am fully convinced at this point of time, and is the best thing to happen for them, is to have a baseball lockout next year so everyone can recuperate everyone can reorganize and everyone could heal, because they don't have a plan right now. I know that sounds bad to say, but drastic times call for drastic measures. Because if the mission was to win the division champion, to be a division first place team, something you haven't really been since 2017, truly, in a full 162 game season. So Milwaukee has beaten you bad, terribly. St. Louis kind of has your number right now. The Pirates are looking really good right now with the pitching. You're not improving.
You're not improving. Okay, but for council to say we can win 90 games. Okay. It's hard to say some things because then I'll get jumped on.
Just say it.
Well,
just say it.
Council said 90 is the magic number.
Okay.
And for all practical purposes, the only move that's different was Tucker for Bellinger, or Tucker for the guy at third base, Bregman. That's it. That's the only real move, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
That's the only real move.
Yeah.
The remainder of the guys are all there, even the entire pitching staff. Now, pitching staff got hurt, but taking everything into consideration, the only real move was Tucker left, Bregman came in.
But that's what it was before. It was Bellinger for Tucker. Now it's Tucker to Bregman. Sorry.
They won what, 88 or 89 games last year?
They won 92 games last year.
They won 92 games last year. So for council to say 90 is the magic number before the season starts, with everything that he had to work with, and thinking, but I think the mindset was, and everybody thought that it was so easy to hit 30 home runs last year.
No.
And everybody did. Oh, Bush is going to continue to do this. And I know one person on the planet that said no, and he's sitting right at this table, and he's doing all the talking right now. Okay? And to go back to, if you've never done it before and think you're going to do it again, that's difficult. Okay? If you did it 3 years in a row, okay? Like Pittsburgh's banking on Ozuna to hit 30 bombs. Okay? But Ozuna hasn't done that in a couple years. But before those couple years, Ozuna did it like 5 years in a row.
It was pretty good.
Okay, so his sample size is much greater than Michael Bush. His sample size is much greater than Pete Crow Armstrong. His sample size is much greater than
Carson
Kelly's. Okay, and those guys had,
and even Matt Shaw.
Okay,
but Shaw's hurt right now.
Okay,
so.
And then they went out and said, well, if they did it this easy, they're going to do it again. And they're finding out this year that they're not doing it. Okay? And they're paying on the one-shot deal. Again, Joe Charbonneau. Look him up. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. There's a million guys who had one great year. Okay? And the Cubs, unfortunately, had 4 guys that had career years last year, and everybody thought that they were going to do it again because it was that easy the first time around.
But they were a veteran team last year as well. They were an old seasoned team as well. Not a very good one.
Okay, but they're not doing it.
No, because they're at the end of their careers.
So from this point out, to win 90 games, they got 34. They got to win 56 games to get to 90.
Okay, if you're a 32-year-old... Okay, Dansby Swanson didn't play the past couple games. He's 32 years old. He hits, what, 180?
He's hitting about 181 or 182.
And they're doing everything in their power to make sure he doesn't play right now. To me, that sounds like your career is over.
But we haven't looked to see what the average age of Major League Baseball is or what the peak ages of Major League Baseball years. I mean, there's, Bonds played till he was 40.
Okay, but
many guys are playing till 40.
What, Barry Bonds? Which Bonds? Which one? The father or
Both
the son?
of them played well over past 35.
Okay, well, Barry Bonds, Barry was a steroid user, was he not?
But there's guys who, 31 isn't where people start retiring. I have to check that age.
34 and 35 is, and he's not that far away.
That's 3 seasons.
And if there's not a baseball season next year,
okay.
So we're already there.
But we're projecting 500 more games.
And that goes for a lot of the people on the team. Colin Ray, how much further can he go pitching?
Okay, Jack, you're right.
Imanaga. Jamison Tyler.
You're right.
How much further can he go?
I've said this before, you're right. And in viewing audience, I am saying he's right. Because I'm kind of getting tired of hearing him say this. He's right.
Because I say the same thing every day.
Okay.
Because no one brings it up.
Okay, because Colin Ray is done after this year. Colin Ray is done after this year. Tyon is done after this year. Those guys are into their 30s. Okay? Pitchers, and when they get into 30, 31, 32, pitchers start to regress. Okay? So we are right. So let's please not bring those up. They're going to regress.
Okay, fine.
But I
won't bring it up.
Day in and day out players. Okay, because you don't want to hear this, but your boy Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, he was 30. That's exactly why I'm bringing it up. He was 34.
But you still say he had life left with them with the Yankees until he got clocked in the head.
Well, but yeah, that's true.
And that's 2 years older than Swanson.
Well, so
why does Anthony Rizzo have?
So we're kind of already there then.
So why did Anthony Rizzo have life in him? Because the answer is
Rizzo got.
You like Anthony Rizzo?
I do. It's one of my favorite players.
So there, Anthony Rizzo can do no wrong.
Not here.
Okay.
Not in this house.
Okay.
No. Do you know where he was when he got? Do you know where I was when he got traded? Here. Do you know where I was when he got traded here?
No, I don't.
That's a story all in itself.
But
one of the best days of my life.
But we're going to go back.
We got traded to Chicago.
This gives me time to research to find out guys that are 31. Okay. No, not only that. I'm kind of gonna put you on a spot. Which guys' ages right now are you concerned about? Just the ages.
Of what player?
Any player. Pick any player's age that you say is regressing at their age.
Thielbar's 39, I think.
But they're pitchers. I've already said pitchers are gone. Players.
Swanson, 32.
Okay.
And he's hitting 180, he's 30.
Okay.
I can go with them all. Say Suzuki's at the end of his deal soon, and he's 31.
31, okay.
Ian Happ, the lifelong guy, I think he's 32 or 33.
Okay.
I don't know his specific age.
Okay.
Nico Horner got hit in the head, and he's 28.
Okay, so basically we're saying about 31. I'm gonna go on research and find to where, because according to you, as what you're saying, 31 is old, and everybody should get the hell out of Dodge when you're 31.
If you're a pro athlete, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do some research on this.
Because can you play? Okay, you just said you're in the old man softball league. You played baseball or some version of it your whole life, more or less. And you had a big. You broke your leg. You had a massive injury and whatever. Okay, I'm going to use you for an example. Sure, you're not a pro athlete, but you were a good ball player. Well, no. Before the leg break, describe yourself.
I was
like
I didn't embarrass myself playing ball.
Okay,
let's put it that way.
After the leg break, how did
I have to be cautious?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That's kind of proving my point. How old were you when the leg broke?
24.
And that pretty much effectively ended your college or minor league aspirations.
How old was Sammy Sosa when he hit 66 home runs? And he did it 3 years in a row.
Well,
I think he was over 31 years of age.
He was in the late 20s, early 30s.
I think every year.
Sosa hit, but Sosa's one of 9 people to hit 600 home runs.
Okay. There are more people, more prominent people. I'm going to say this: more prominent people in baseball have had greater careers after the age of 31 than before 31.
I don't fully agree with that.
Okay. Nico Horner last year at age 29 hit 300 for the first time.
I think it was 27.
Okay, so he's 28 now. So you're saying Nico Horner's got 3 more good years left?
He got hit in the head. Has he looked like the same player to you after that?
Okay.
Like, I'm not a professional journalist. I'm not Bruce Levine. I'm not that.
Okay.
I just mention on what I see and what I read and the statistical data that I've seen. Overall, top to bottom, they are not a convincing, consistent team.
That's correct. You're absolutely correct.
They have a lot of injuries.
Absolutely.
They have a lot of bad batting averages.
Okay.
They have a lot of bad OPS.
But you're not washed up at 31 playing Major League Baseball.
But they have no backup plan. If those guys crap the bed, and many of them are already doing that, they don't have a backup plan. There's no other AAA or no other AA help. You're not hearing about it. Pedro Ramirez is 82nd ranked in the top 100 of prospects. That's not an elite all-star to me. It's not.
Then you know what? I would then not even watch Cub games. I would now take this napkin, this white flag, because they're 30 years old. All the guys are 30.
If you're in your 30s and you're not playing good and you're all getting hurt, yeah.
Then you know what? Then tomorrow I would not turn in. I would not watch.
Fine.
Because.
Fine. I got better things to do with my life anyway.
Okay. But But if their contracts. If they were getting paid when they were okay at 28 and they gave them a 6-year contract, which gets them to 34, the Cubs have to play them.
Yeah, they have no other choice. You paid them.
Right.
And that's what they're doing. See, and this is what I said. We had the exact argument last night with Dansby Swanson. You either commit to letting him go or you commit to playing him. He's the only true shortstop that they have anyway. You either commit to playing him or you commit to letting him go.
But the problem with the Dansby Swanson thing was when all of that nonsense happened, he was the 5th shortstop selected.
Yeah.
Four guys went before him.
In the free agency.
In that free agency drafting, there were 5 marquee shortstops.
Yeah.
And the Cubs settled for Dansby Swanson. That's how they got Dansby Swanson.
They wanted, I think, Carlos Correa.
Correa went. Story went.
Trey Turner.
Trey Turner went.
Bogarts, I think, went.
Bogarts went. Okay. And they got stuck with Dansby Swanson. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they decided to pay Dansby Swanson
a 7-year contract for $100 and
slightly less than what those other 4 guys made, and they thought they were getting a deal. And you know what? For the first 3 years, Dansby Swanson was knocking in. Okay.
He's not doing that now.
Okay. But last year he hit damn near 30 home runs.
Okay.
So what happened in a year? You don't regress that poorly in 8 months.
Well, he clearly did.
Okay.
He clearly did.
Okay.
All of them.
And as you said, just because you hit 30, see with you, and I'm going to say this, once you achieve something and you never achieve it again, in your eyes, you're a failure.
No, not really.
Okay.
No, I don't
Because
agree with that.
there's only, as you said, there's only 27 guys who have ever hit over 300 home runs.
There's more than that. I looked that up.
Okay.
But it's a small portion.
Okay. So
it's a small. I don't know the specific number of people that hit 300 or more, 300 home runs,
Okay.
but it's a small percentage of everyone in professional baseball.
So if Dansby Swanson doesn't come nearly as close to he did last year when he hit 26 home runs, I think, or 24 home runs, okay, you got him already written off next year that he can't hit 20 again, or 18 again. You've already got that.
If you hit 186,
Okay.
if you hit 170,
Okay.
and you're not playing a lot. And even, let me go a step further.
Dave Kingman averaged like 210 and hit 40 home runs.
Dave Kingman played every day, and Dave Kingman was a home run hitter. Adam Dunn played first base every day. He was a home run hitter.
Dansby Swanson's playing shortstop every day.
But he's
and
not.
Dansby Swanson was never a home.
He never was.
See, and there's the misconception. He had the one good year, and everybody
He never
thinks
was.
He never was. So what he's doing now is what he is. And last year was an anomaly.
No.
Yes.
No. He never hit 180.
Okay, but the power numbers.
He never hit 180.
The power numbers. Everybody's power numbers. Last year was an anomaly. Michael Busch is not a 30 home run hitter.
No, he's a.
Prior to that, Michael Busch never even flirted with 30. He might have had 11. So Michael Busch is on pace to do what he did.
How about the guy Moises Ballesteros, still stuck on 6 home runs.
Still stuck on 6 home runs.
And they played over 60 games.
And he might end up with 10.
That's not impressive. It's not impressive. But when you get mad at, but we're getting mad. What's ironic about it? We're being mad at Dansby Swanson and the current players for the batting average, but yet a few years back they let Kyle Schwarber go because of his batting average, but he has 50 home run hitting power.
How old's Kyle Schwarber?
He's over 30.
So he's done.
I mean, he's done. He's not going to play another 10 seasons.
Okay, he's done.
He won't play another 10 seasons.
Okay. But he's got to play 10 seasons to get to the Hall of Fame. Because the only way he's going to get in the Hall of Fame is to hit.
He may not make the Hall of Fame.
If he hits 500 home runs, he's in. Okay. And I think right now, this year, he's got 20. Is he over 20 home runs?
I don't know.
So he's almost on pace with what he got last year. And he's a year older. So your argument is, let's discard him.
They already did. He's not a Chicago Cub. They already did.
Well, Philadelphia should discard him.
I don't care. This is not a Philadelphia talk show, so why bring it up?
Okay, but the Cubs got rid of Schwarber 7 years ago.
Which was a bad idea.
Was a bad move.
Bad idea.
Bad move.
Because if you had Kyle Schwarber, because if you kept Kyle Schwarber, and you kept Cody Bellinger, and you kept Kyle Tucker, even though the argument was Cody would have played first base.
And what do you think their pay? You bitch about their payroll 400. Do you
I trust them more than what I trust this
What
team.
do you think their payroll would be?
Did I not just answer that question? I trust those 3 people more than I trust this team currently.
You said
Did I not just say that?
I asked what would their payroll be?
Over
not trust level.
Maybe over $500 million.
Maybe over $500 million.
But I know that team would make playoffs. I know going in, that team I just named would make playoffs. They're not playing good at all right now.
Yeah, it would be 3 outfielders, and you would still have the infield you got now without Bregman. So Shaw, Swanson hitting $180, Nico Horner and Bush, and question mark behind the plate.
And you'd be much better off. See, if you
how much better would they be?
If you had 3 consistent power hitters every day in your lineup, which is something they don't have right now, hell, they're lucky if they find 1.
Well, Suzuki would still be in the mix because they got him. And
they wanted to trade him how many times? They wanted to send him packing how many times?
And Happ would have been still in the mix because Happ was on the 2016 team.
And you hate Ian Happ. Everyone hates Ian Happ.
I hate Ian Happ because I know every other time at bat he's going to strike out.
In a critical moment.
But you know what? His power numbers are going to be almost the same as they were last year. And he's a year older. But based on your math...
What is his contract? Because you and I have had this talk. Saya and him are going to be available
for free agency.
At the same time. And they're not going to keep both of them.
But once again, like I always said with the Bears coaching staff, be careful for what you wish for.
More sizzle than steak.
If those two guys don't come back, who do you replace them with?
I have no idea. And I have no idea. And I'm bringing it up because no one else has any idea. They don't like Ian Happ. They want him gone, but they have no one in AAA to play left field.
It's not AAA.
No, see, that's my thing.
You got to go on the open market.
You shouldn't have to. Okay. What team rebuilds in free agency? What team does that?
Nobody really. Your 9 guys are no longer coming from the minor leagues in your organization.
Really? Because that's how they won the World Series. Schwarber was drafted. Bryant was drafted. Baez was drafted. Rizzo was a trade, but they developed him.
The key piece of that whole puzzle was Chapman, and they went out and got Chapman.
He was a relief pitcher.
Right.
People give that so much credit. He was a relief pitcher. They're in Game 7. Kyle Hendricks is cruising. You didn't need to put anybody else on the mound.
Okay. They got Lester from someplace else.
Boston.
They got Chapman from someplace else. They got Arrieta from someplace else.
Arrieta was a trade.
But they still got him from somewhere else.
He couldn't pitch, and they developed him.
Okay. Fowler came from somewhere else.
Yeah, he did.
Miggy Montero came from somewhere else.
He did.
Okay.
But the MVP, Chris Bryant, was drafted.
Okay. Right. But not all the position players came.
Kyle Schwarber, who hit the big home run, we were in the NLDS. We were there.
Yes.
He was drafted.
Yes.
He was drafted.
Yes. Anthony Rizzo's not a Cub.
Well, he wasn't drafted by him.
Yeah. He wasn't in their farm system and said, let's bring him up and play first base. No, they went out and got him. Nobody is getting the 9 guys, the 8 players. So the Cubs don't have anybody in their farm system. We know that. They got rid of the people. So now they got to go out and get people. So I got to look at the free agent market to see who's a left fielder or who's a right fielder.
But when you had to trade away Owen Casey for Edward Cabrera.
Bad move right now. Terrible move. Especially when the Cubs were slurping Owen Casey forever.
James Trianos. Can't find him. I looked at the MLB on all the prospects.
We looked at that yesterday.
I couldn't find him.
And for years it was Trianos and Owen Casey and Cam Smith. Those were the 3 biggies. And
so really,
Smith and Owens are gone.
You traded Cam Smith for Kyle Tucker, and you got 1 year of a rental player in Kyle Tucker. So that's a bad move. You traded away Owen Casey for Edward Cabrera because you didn't have a third starter. That's a bad move. Matt Shaw was supposed to be your everyday third baseman, but you pulled the plug on him to pay for the extreme twilight player, veteran Alex Bregman.
We have to come to a conclusion between you and me. We cannot continue. We know Bregman sucks.
Big time.
We cannot. He's a guy that we can't mention no more on this show.
Yes, we can.
No, I'm getting tired of.
He's a Chicago Cub.
It's the George Steinbrenner theory. Bad publicity is better than no publicity.
He is a Chicago Cub player.
When you stop talking about people, then they're dead.
So I can't talk about Morel. I can't talk about Justin Fields. I can't talk about Adam Burrish. I can't talk about the Scott Foster hockey goaltender. I can't talk about the loads of bad ideas Bill Wirtz had when he owned the Chicago Blackhawks.
Once they leave the organization, then they're fair game. Right now, we know Bregman sucks. Bregman,
And he'll be here for 5 years, maybe.
Whatever verbiage you want to use, whether it's the contract, whether his ability, whether he had the electronic devices glued to his chest, whatever the case might be, Bregman is not worth the paper he's written on. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't even want to make reference to him anymore. I can make reference to Hap because Hap in his 10 years has come through with a hit or two to win a ballgame. Bregman has done nothing. $37.5 million a year, the highest annual contract in the history of the Chicago Cubs. And he has hit 12 home runs in 5 months, including last year. He's got 5 this year.
Oh, well.
I don't want to talk about him anymore. It might be the worst transaction in Chicago Cub history.
That would be a fun episode to do, actually.
Because I know everybody rags about...
Milton Bradley.
No, they don't. No one brings up the Milton Bradley. They bring up the
Jason Hayward.
The Jason Hayward thing.
Well, they won a World Series.
And the only people who bring that up is because the Cardinal fans bring that up because they think that was a bad deal for the Cardinals, and it's like, ha ha ha, give the Cubs. But you know what? Jason Hayward ended up winning a World Series and playing right field for the world champion Chicago Cubs. So whatever money Jason Hayward got for the Cubs, it became profitable because the Cubs won a World Series. Say what you want, Cardinal fans, that it was a shitty contract. And you know what? It was a shitty contract for the first 4 goddamn years until Jason Hayward won a World Series in another uniform that he couldn't do with the Cardinals. Okay? So that's why okay, overpay him. All right, well, you know what? The Bregman contract is worse. Because Bregman is never going... If you look at Jason Hayward's numbers with the Cubs, they were pedestrian, but they weren't horse shit.
No, he won like 4 Gold Gloves.
Okay. And Bregman will not touch those numbers. That's what I'm going to have to compare. That's another thing I got to write down. What did Hayward do in the time period that he was with the Cubs? And then I'm going to bank that and go... This is what Bregman's got to reach.
Well, yeah, but you're
never... And Bregman will never get there.
But you'll never talk about that on this show because you don't want to mention Bregman. So...
I'm not going to.
Oh, well.
I'll mention Hayward. And say, Jason Hayward. I'll circumvent bringing up Bregman, but I will make reference in a roundabout way using Hayward as my example.
Kind of like how you do with a certain catcher in... St. Louis.
Correct.
Because a person told you can't talk about Yadier Molina anymore.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you know. But if, you know, yeah, how can you tell somebody not to discuss
in a bowling
sports in a bowling alley?
In a bowling alley in the middle of the night on a Monday night.
In an all men's league.
That was a bizarre conversation.
Telling me
that was bizarre.
He's tired of hearing me criticize about a former catcher from a team west of the Mississippi River.
But.
And how he was tired. He's tired of hearing facts. Major league facts.
That anyone could look up.
Not my facts, major league facts. And the kick in the ass was the Gold Glove thing.
Bob Boone.
Because once again, you have to qualify to win a Gold Glove.
Bob Boone has like 7 or 8.
Bob Boone has 1 less Gold Glove
than Yadier Molina.
And he played 2 less years.
And similar hits?
He's 160 hits less, but he played 2 less years.
Jason Kendall doesn't have the Golden Gloves. He's got a lot of hits, but he'll never make the Hall of Fame.
But anyway, the argument...
I know, we're just making these comparisons.
You know, and again, and I did the research on this. If you look at the years that guy won 9 Gold Gloves. 3/4 of the National League catchers were not eligible to win a Gold Glove under the recommendations. Somebody, and I'm going to say this because I don't think we have many lepers out there. Somebody has to be homecoming queen in a leper colony. Somebody had to win a Gold Glove. Okay? So if it's Molina and catchers who no one knows about, who qualified, and this guy caught 150 games, and it's voted by the managers. It's not voted by a committee. It's only voted by the managers in the National League.
Well,
so how many teams are there? 15?
Yep.
15 managers. Okay, we got to give it to this guy because he persevered. It's a perseverance kind of trophy.
And they trotted him out when he was fat, out of shape, and he couldn't play anymore. So he could win another Golden Glove.
And I brought this up at a bowling alley.
On a Monday night bowling alley league.
Men's league. And I was told, and F-bombs are being thrown around by this other individual. Shut your effing mouth. I'm tired of hearing you. Like I was killing his kid.
Jesus Christ.
And if he or anybody watches this, then run with that.
I remember that. That was sad. They put him out in the last 5 years of his career. He was big, fat. He was always a big, fat guy. But he was big and fat, out of shape. He couldn't hit. He couldn't run. He couldn't move.
And you know, after I was told that, I got a master's degree.
Oh, now we're really going somewhere.
I got a master's degree. After I was told that this individual was tired of me talking about it, I never did more research in my life to prove, to back up my argument. And I got a master's degree. I never worked so hard to find ammunition on this catcher west of the Mississippi than I ever worked getting a master's degree.
Well,
Just so I could, if in case there's an argument, and I still have these documents. I no longer bowl, but I had them in my bowling bag in case anybody wanted to see them.
no, it's not true. Because Joplin, Missouri, 99-cent bowling.
Okay.
Just wanted to say
But-
that.
You know, but going back to this Cubs thing, you know, all right, they got today off. They got 9 games against the 2 shittiest teams in the National League.
Yeah.
Okay. They have to go 7-2.
Because you're more concerned about the next 9 games.
Yes, and the reason I'm saying the next 9 games is because after the 9 games, then they got to step up and play the Padres, Toronto, the Mets, the Brewers. And on paper, and you know what you can do with paper, there's an old expression with paper.
Yeah, you can.
You know, you clean your bottom with paper, you know, after you do a number 2. Okay. But on paper, if you read it, the last group of teams that I mentioned are a hell of a lot better than the Rockies and San Francisco. And prior to this, they lost to the A's and the White Sox.
Badly.
So, yeah, I'm with you. I'm not convinced.
Badly.
But this next 9 games, you know, and as much as counsel gets.
Yeah, and I've given him grief a lot, and it's not really his fault. We're at the point now. We're really truly the team itself not very good. Counsel has done everything he can.
He's taken every combination in a lineup, lefties versus righties, righties versus lefties, switching people around in a batting order. He's done every Houdini thing he could possibly do.
He did everything.
And these guys still just can't hit.
No. And they can't strike anybody out. They give up more home runs than anyone. That's another statistic we haven't even mentioned. But
Tyon and
Shota
are 1-2
Yeah.
in giving up home runs to their opponents.
The only two pitchers to have 5 wins is Colin Ray and Rollinson. Rollinson's a relief pitcher. See, does that sound like a playoff team to you? No. But
I still think because of the way the system is, and we've already looked at things, the Reds are now under 500.
yeah,
It's going to be a matter of time for Pittsburgh. Okay. Pittsburgh's still going to have the pitching, but they're daily guys. Reynolds is playing out of his mind. That 19-year-old kid, Griffin, he's going to hit a hump somewhere. O'Neal Cruz is a question mark.
There's games where, and I'm going to say it, I'll give Paul Skeens credit. There's games where Paul Skeens strikes everybody out. It felt like, and his offense did not give him any run support. But that goes for everybody. But
now, I want to make one reference to again. We got a comment. I like those comments.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
The guy
that hasn't been said in a while.
Okay.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
The guy who basically threw the F-bombs. Because here's the deal: you can hide behind your little email address or whatever. That's fine. We're not going to look at it because I don't even know how the hell to do that.
We don't even care really.
But you know what? If you're watching this, okay, and you happen to be that same guy, and here's the deal.
Because we only have 30 subscribers.
But here's the deal. If I was watching something regularly, I would keep watching it regularly. Okay? If we hit a nerve with this joker and pissed him off, okay, if I got pissed off, I would tune in again just to see what was being said. But I certainly hope this guy, this person, I don't want to say guy because it's 2020, it could be a female, who we know, but this individual, who didn't like what we said, because I think it was, the Cubs are only 2 games over 500. Well, you know what?
Not impressive.
But you know what, buddy? Right now,
they can still piss it down the leg.
But right now, they're how many games over 500?
Well, 2 games.
2. They
went from 15.
Yeah.
To now 2.
So if our show aggravated you last time and you said
or better yet, if we have upset anybody else,
yeah,
you're more than welcome to speak your piece.
But I imagine this guy, if we pissed you off because the Cubs were 2 games over 500 a week ago when you made the comment, you know what? There's still only 2 games over 500, so you still should be pissed at us, and you should comment to us. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to hook you to call us. Comment with us. Okay. But, 9 games. Now, my goal isn't to... I would like to... Our next show, I want to write out the Rocky series before we post another one.
Oh my Lord!
Because then we might be opening,
the Rockies might whoop them.
We might be opening Ice Mountain water here, or we might be sharpening up Harry Carey daggers.
Harry Carey's grandson is a broadcaster for the Oakland Athletics.
Yes. If they go 0-3 to the Rockies, and based on that, the second. No, where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know who's the 5th worst strikeout team in all of baseball?
Of what? You mean hitting the baseball? Or
no, the strikeout ratio. Meaning, we said the Angels have the worst strikeout per game. You know who's the 5th worst strikeout per game?
No, I don't know.
The Colorado Rockies. The team that the Cubs' crappy pitching staff is going against the Rockies, who are the 5th worst strikeout team in baseball.
And they're not playing today, right?
They're not playing today. So which grouping is going to have more success? Are the Cubs going to strike out this shitty strikeout team, or is the shitty strikeout team going to hit against the Cubs pitching staff.
Spurs, reads on the TV, Spurs trying to avoid going down 0-3 in the series.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're talking NBA here. I'm getting sleepy.
I want New York to win so bad.
No, I don't.
I do. Because
I want the Knicks right now at 0-2.
I mean, yeah, it would be funny to see them gag, but I don't think it will happen.
Because there's many people.
Oh, it would be comedy.
There's many people on networks that have nothing but letters that they would sit back. Individuals who try to articulate 7-syllable words.
Well, they would do that even if they won either way.
But when they lose,
it would be be comedy.
I might glue my ass to watching those people and watch them just cry in their soup. Okay, where these individuals aren't even in the studio at the Four Letters, you know.
No, because they're on some radio satellite.
And he's gonna come with his 7-syllable words.
And try to be the president.
Trying to be the president. Okay.
How? Would the VP be Skip Bayless? That'd be funny if it was.
Okay. And then if you're the current vice president of the United States of America,
what are you doing?
And this guy just decides he's going to roll out of bed
and think
he's going to get more votes than you.
Yeah, you're going to be offended at that.
Either you're a doofus as a vice president, or I don't know, but that's not going to happen.
But but that goes for every politician. You got to take. It's like, what is it? The Michael Jordan meme. It became personal with me. How is this?
Yeah.
Crazy sports commentator gonna go from?
He's not.
I mean.
He's not.
It would be funny to see him try. It would be very funny to see him try.
But anyway, the Cubs are 2 games over. You know, and I know we went off the rails a little bit. But all the facts. I mean,
the way of life is the same. People.
They're
not winning. They're not playing good.
No.
They have a lot of serious injuries.
But if you think that this show is, and we're not anti-Cub.
No, we're not. But we're also not anti.
You look right behind this banner. This is all Chicago Cub banner. You see that's the Chicago Cubs. You know, you see my Cubs World Series and hats. And when we're doing the show, we're wearing Cub stuff. But in 72 hours, if they go 1-2 against
or
0-3 and they're under 500 after they play the Colorado Rockies, I'm going to have to take some Valium before I do this show because things are not going to be pleasant.
The trade deadline is only 9 weeks away.
Okay.
And they have really nobody to trade. And if you're going to be a seller, if you're going to be a bottom feeder team, you won't make postseason. Why make a trade? Really? I mean, you could do whatever you want, but be real.
You would make a trade because of a salary dump.
Salary dump and try to get some minor league talent, I would imagine. But that's not going to help you until down the road. I'm talking about right here, right now. You're not going to get any big impact player to come and help you.
Not right now.
Because they don't have anyone to trade.
And I'll be perfectly honest with you, and if this guy who says MF this and MF, that's fine, because I'm going to say it right now. Pete Crow Armstrong is a bargain at $20 million a year.
Oh, yeah.
If the Cubs put him on the block...
He's a terrible player in my opinion.
And people want to go out and get Pete Crow Armstrong and pay him $20 million and be their center fielder, and if he's as good
I would be more than happy for that to happen.
If people think that the Cubs can get a top-line starter for Pete Crow Armstrong...
I would be more than happy for that to happen.
I would drive the U-Haul in front of Pete Crow Armstrong's apartment, wherever he's at.
Get out.
And I would get his beanbag chairs and his futons or whatever the hell, his earring.
Go away. Away.
I would pack this shit up and say go, and for the Cubs to get a frontline starter. And maybe that's why the Cubs didn't really get nutty with the salary. Because teams could buy into, hey, I only got to give up $20 million.
Because, again, the bar has dropped so low to even make the playoffs. There's 6 playoff teams now. going to be teams at some seasons where they're not even going to have winning records. But anyway, if you're a sixth-place playoff team and not even that, and you're a star player on a bad team, you're not a star.
But there have been...
You're not a star.
Hasn't there been wild card teams that won the World Series?
Very few.
Right, but it has happened.
Very few. And if they were to go in and do that, it would be a whole different thing. But this team is not going to win. No, they're not even going to play in World Series.
And we argued about this. You already have a finality about
I do.
certain words.
Of course.
Like failure. They're not a failure yet. Okay. They're a huge disappointment.
So they're just one step away of being a failure.
Right now, they're a huge...
So they're one step away of being
athletically
a failure.
and financially
Failure.
disappointment.
And there may not be a baseball season
And
next
when
year.
the end of the season comes through, and we'll leave you with this, at the end of the season, when the 162 games end and the Cubs are either in the playoffs or not in the playoffs, then one could render that magical F word and say they ended up as a
failure.
Until then, we'll talk to you guys.
Signing off.
We'll talk to you guys after the Rockies. Who's the manager of the Rockies?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
But you know what? I think the starter, I did read this. I think the starter of the Rockies has 5 wins as a starting pitcher. And the Cubs have Colin Ray, which is 5. So the Cubs are going against the ace of the Rockies.
You want to go to Cascade, Iowa?
Go where?
Cascade, Iowa, to that place where you get a free drink if he strikes people out.
You got school tomorrow night.
I do. Never mind.
So
Never mind.
You got class tomorrow night.
Yeah, I got to drive an hour.
So we'll check to see when Colin Ray goes next to Cascade, Iowa. All right.
Well, anyway, see ya, everybody.
All right, adios. We're Hey Chicago Sports. Look us up, YouTube and Facebook.